Hey, this is Susan Velez from SusanVelez.com and welcome to my YouTube channel where I make the techie side of blogging easy. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, I highly recommend that you do because what I like to do is every Wednesday I'll create some type of tip, tutorial, advice, some type of video that's going to help you start, grow, and monetize your own WordPress blog. So in today's video, what I wanted to do was kind of walk you through the inside of the WordPress dashboard. I know if you're completely new to WordPress, it's going to be somewhat confusing. So I thought what I would do is just go ahead and walk you through it. Now, I'm going to do that inside of my local host. You can see that I'm on my local host, but what I want to do is I'm going to come over here to a dashboard that does not have a lot of stuff, because if you'll notice on that actual site, I've already got a bunch of stuff, but if you're just getting started with WordPress, this is pretty much what you're going to see. You're not going to see this. It's just going to be a plain old site. The only difference is this one I've already installed the Genesis theme. But if you've just installed WordPress, you're going to have the bare minimum, which is going to be the actual link to your WordPress, which we are inside of the WordPress dashboard, and this is the page that you're going to be taken to the moment you log into your WordPress site. If you have any kind of notifications that need to be taken care of, you're going to see that right here, and you're going to see that this WordPress site is out of date. So if you're on a live site, what you'd want to do is you want to go ahead and update that. But before you actually update it, I want to make sure that you know that it's important to have a backup on hand, because if something does happen to go wrong with this update, you could bring down your website. Of course, you could also revert back to a previous version of WordPress manually, and I've actually created a video on that as well too. It is on my channel, so if you do have to revert back to WordPress manually, make sure you head on and find that video, because it'll walk you through the process step by step on how to do that without having to start your website over. The posts tab right here, you'll see it says all posts, add posts, categories, and tags. You could add a post. If you wanted to add a post, you would just add it right here. And then you could also add it right here, screen options, and you're going to see that you have some screen options right here at a glance, activity. I don't really mess with this stuff on my site, but you can see that you do have some options right there to do that. As far as media, this is where you actually upload new media files, whether it be images or anything like that. You could add it from here by clicking on this right here, add new, or you could add it right here too. And also you could come up here where it says add new. You could add a post, media, page, and a user from here as well too. So there's several different ways you can add your posts, media, and pages. I pretty much just use the links on this side, on this left side, but you could actually use this up here on top if you wanted to. Library, media library, all you do is click on add new, and then you could select files from your website, or you could just drag and drop them in here, and that'd be fine as well too. Pages, same thing, add page, add new. Right here, this would be how it would be done. And then comments, if you wanted to moderate the comments or change them, if anybody leaves your comments, you'll see that right here it says pending, approved, spam, and trash. And then this is where you would actually reply to people who have left comments, delete spam comments or trash whatever you don't want on your website. And then disregard this, because this is actually, you won't see this if you've got a brand new installation. Right here, appearance is where you're going to install the theme of your choice, and then you'll have customize, widgets, menus, header, and background and editor. So let me go ahead and walk you through these really quick. It's pretty easy to figure out, but I just wanted to share it with you guys. So if you come over here and you tab over appearance and you wanted to add a theme, you come over here and then you can see that you can add themes up here. So if you wanted to add a theme right here and you have it on your desktop, you would just click on add new, and then it would allow you to upload a theme right there. Now, if you wanted to find a free theme, then you can see that all these are free right here. And you could do some searches based on the featured, popular, latest, favorites. And then I'm not sure what this feature filter is. Like I said, I really don't use any of the free themes. I don't recommend using a free theme. I do recommend the Genesis. If you are brand new then and you don't want to have to mess with learning Genesis, because it does come with a little bit of a learning curve, although I've got some Genesis tutorials on my blog at susanvelez.com. I understand that if you don't want to purchase the Genesis, I do have a couple of other themes that I do recommend for people who do not want to use the Genesis, and they are the same themes that I use for my freelance clients. So all the links will be down in the description below. They are affiliate links. This does mean that I will get a small commission. It won't cost you anything more to pick them up through my link, but it helps support me while I create these type of videos for you guys to help you guys learn the ins and outs of WordPress, the basics. Anyway, so if you wanted to search for a free theme, you could do that here. If you wanted to, let's just say we wanted to go ahead and use this one, what you would do is you click on this install right here. So we're going to go ahead and install it. And then once it's installed, I think it's going to, you just click on activate, and then this will activate that theme. Now, if we come over here and let's just go ahead and click on this, and you can see that the theme is indeed active on our site. So that's how you use a free theme. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do. Now, if you're not using a theme, I do recommend that you delete all the themes from your site, because you don't want to have a bunch of themes on your site if you're not using them. Just keep the site that you are using, or the theme that you are using, and delete the rest. All right, so customize, you click on this, and then you can see that you can customize the theme through these different tabs, like site identity. You could come over here and you could give it a site title, and then a tagline. And then you could just run through here and style your theme based on these different tabs. Now, depending on the type of site that you or the theme that you have activated on your site, you're going to see these are different, because it's going to all be based on the theme that you are using. So if you wanted to exit out of this, you could go ahead and click on that, and it's going to take you back to your dashboard. The next thing is the widgets. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you guys the widgets. Now you can see this theme actually just has the blog sidebar. The amount of widgets that you guys have available, that you'll have available right here, will be based on the theme that you are using. Now let me go ahead and go back to themes. If you remember, this just has the blog sidebar, which is the free theme. That's one of the things about the free theme. You're either going to have only one sidebar, or you might have maybe two. Like I said, I don't use any free themes, so I don't know. So we're going to go ahead and just activate this one again, and then I'm going to show you the difference on the actual widgets that you have. So you can see right here it says new theme activated, and then we could visit the site, but I'm not going to. We're just going to come back over here to widgets, and then you're going to notice that on the Genesis framework we have the primary sidebar, secondary sidebar, before header, home top, home middle, home bottom, and then the footers. So you can see you have many different options as far as widgets. Now, if you wanted to add something to your widget, all you do is click over here, and let's just say that we wanted to add a calendar to this. We drag and drop this right here, and then let it go, and then save it. And then this would actually be on our site. So as long as the site is showing to show sidebars, it's going to be on there. So let's see, where is... It might not be set up to have the actual secondary sidebar on there, but if it was, let me just go ahead and drag this back up to the primary sidebar, because we do know the primary sidebar is on there. And then if I refresh this, then we should see the calendar right here. So there you go. So that's how you use the widgets on your site. And like I said, the amount of widgets that you have on your available on your site is going to be determined by the theme that you are using. Menus, let's go to menus. And this is where you actually have your menus, you know, those tabs that run across up here. What you'd want to do is you'd want to create a new menu. Let's just create a menu, and let's just call it top. And I'm just going to create a menu. I don't think I have any pages or anything, so we're just going to put the sample page. Let's click create. Apparently it didn't take. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put the sample page on it. And we're going to click on add to menu. And then we're going to go ahead and place it. Now again, this is all going to be based on the theme that you're using. You might not see all these, but you will see something where you can add something. So we're just going to go ahead and say we're going to go after header menu. We're going to save that, and then we're going to refresh this. and then you can see that my sample page is right here, and that's the menu. Of course, you wouldn't want to put the sample page on there. You'd create your own menus. Now you have the option of putting it there and then dragging and dropping all your pages. They're not going to be automatically added to the menu unless you click on this right here. It says automatically add new top level pages to this menu. That means that every page that you create will automatically be added to your menu. I don't recommend doing that. You want to make sure that you are taking time to create the menu that you want and placing the pages that you want specifically on your menu. So that's enough about the menu. You can actually create as many menus as you want. We could create another menu if you wanted to. And all right, so let's go on to the header. So now you'll notice I didn't save the changes, so you'd want to make sure you save the changes in order for this to take effect. So header, let's go to header. And then the header, you can see we can use a current header. We could add an image. Whatever you want to do to this header, we could do this. And I think this is based on the theme as well too that you're using. So like I said, if you don't see all these options, it might just be because of the theme. And then you can see that we have some more options here that we could actually optimize here. So it's basically just optimizing it or customizing it the way you want it, not optimizing. All right, so background. Let's go to background, and then basically this is the same thing. This is just a you can change the image, you can change whatever you want on the background right here, and you would just basically do that right here. So it's just more customization features. All right, so editor, really this is just all your WordPress files. I don't recommend messing with this inside of your WordPress site. If you mess with this and you screw something up, you can definitely cause your site to come down. If for any reason you need to mess with any of these files, then I would recommend using an FTP client server where you can actually get in there and mess with the code and stuff like that. But chances are you're never really going to be using the editor right here. So nothing here can come out good here if you're really messing with this, unless you know what you're doing. But if you do mess with it, make sure you do have a backup before you start messing with it. Plugins, this is where you add all your plugins. If they do need to be updated, you'll see right here it says update now, and then it'll tell you view version. And then if you wanted to add a new plugin, you could add a new plugin. And then right here you could search the free plugins as well based on featured, popular, recommended, and favorites. And then of course, just like you saw me add the theme, then you would go ahead and install the plugins the same way. Again, editor, another tab you don't really want to mess with, so unless you absolutely know what you're doing. I never mess with that, so I'm not even going to go over that. Users, this is where you actually have your user information will be right here. If you want to add a new user, then you could do that right here. Add a new user, create a username, and then an email, and then a first name, last name, and you can see the only ones that are really required are the username and the email. And then set the password as well too. And this is you can actually check this right here to send the user a new email about their account. So if you are creating a new user, you want to make sure that you give them the correct role. And if you don't know anything about the roles, I recommend going to the WordPress forum or the WordPress main site and find out what the different roles are, because based on the type of subscriber or the user that you used, they will have the rights to your site according to the role that you assign them. So you want to make sure that you're assigning them the correct role. Your profile, basically it is just that, your profile, and you can see that it is everything based on what's going to be shown on your site. And then you can see your profile picture. I recommend setting up a gravatar for your site. A lot of bloggers like to blog with just the actual mystery man, but if you're trying to build a business with your site, you definitely want to make sure that you're letting your visitors see who you are. Tools, now if you don't know how to set this gravatar up, I have a great step-by-step tutorial on my website at susanvelez.com. Stop over there and follow along. I've got it set up with pictures and everything that will walk you through the process the entire step of the way so that you can have a nice professional gravatar when someone comes to your site. All right, tools. I don't really mess with this. If you wanted to import, export stuff, then you could go ahead and do this. This isn't going to be something that you're going to use on a regular basis. Settings, you can see this is where we have different settings. The general is just the main settings of the website. You can see that it's the site title, the tagline, your WordPress URL, your email, and then membership. You can see that I have mine not checked. I never check anything on this because you don't want anyone to just be able to register for your site. And then you can new user default roles, time zone. This is where you would change your time zone if you live in a different part of the country, or based on whatever time zone you have, you would change it right there. And then your date format. All right, so now writing. Let's come over here and you can see that this is basically, I never really mess with any of this. You could just kind of see this. Honestly, I really never do anything here. If I'm missing something, just let me know. Reading, this is basically just set up how you want it. You want it to show your latest blog post. You want a static page for your home page. And then right here it says front page. You can select, let's just say you want static page. You'd have to select which page you want shown as your static front page. I only have a sample page right now, so that would be the only option that I have. If you wanted a static page, you probably create a static page that you want shown. And then the post page, you can do the same thing as well. And then blog pages says show at most, and then you can change this too. And I really don't do this. Once your site is live and online and ready to be shown, you want to make sure that you uncheck this right here where it says discourage search engines from indexing this site. This is a local host on my computer, so it really doesn't matter. But you want to make sure that your live site does not have this checked. Otherwise, it's not going to allow the search engines to index your site. And you want to make sure that your site is getting indexed. Discussion, let's come over here to discussion, and you can pretty much just read through these different settings, and you can check whatever you want, whether you want people to be able to comment on your site, and then if you want them those comments to be automatically close comments. Right over here it says automatically close comments on articles that are 14 days old. If you wanted to close your comments that are older than a specific number of days, you could check that. And then you could check this one right here. I always check this one. A comment is held for moderation. And the reason being is I like to manually approve all my comments because I make sure that I take the time to reply to my comments. And once you start blogging, you're going to notice that your WordPress site is going to get bombarded with spam. I don't want to go back and clean up a bunch of spam that passed through my comments. I do use a plugin to help prevent the spam comments, but it still doesn't block everything. So I always make sure that I have this checked. I don't want people spamming my site, and I want to make sure that I am going to approve the comment because it is your blog. If you do not want to approve the comment, you do not have to approve the comment. You approve whatever you want to approve, and you can delete the rest. So make sure that you have that checked and respond to all the people who comment. It's just good etiquette, and you're trying to build a following. So you want to make sure that you're responding to people who stop by your website to comment. Media. This is for the different images sizes. I really don't mess with this. You could read more about this, but I'm not going to cover this because this will be different for everybody. And then permalinks. You want to make sure that you are using the correct permalinks. So if you'll notice, you have several different permalinks that you can choose from. I'm going to come over here to my main WordPress site, and let's see if I can log back in real quick. All right, so in my main WordPress site, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you guys what my permalinks look like. So we're going to come over here to permalinks, and then I'm just going to quickly show you guys the permalinks that I use. And you can see that I use the post name and then this right here, the post name /. That's what I use for permalinks. There are different structures that you can use. Of course, if you want to use something totally different, then feel free to do that. Go to the WordPress main site, read about permalinks, and use the one that you want. But I personally like this one because it's much friendlier. to use, and it's what I've been using since I started using WordPress. And anyway, that's really all you see. You wouldn't see this. This is a plugin that I installed. So basically, those are just the basics that you're going to see once you actually start getting inside of your WordPress dashboard. And it can be a little bit confusing until you start learning how to use it. But the best way to do that is just to log into your site, write content on a daily basis, and get familiar with it. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Stop by my blog at susanvelez.com. Sign up for my free 7-day WordPress course at susanvelez.com/emails. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day.